You know, election night can change a lot, or it can change very little. It's the hours where the prognostications of political pundits are put aside and we see what the voters have to say. Of course, we all heard the national prediction of a red wave rolling over through the midterms. That wave is something you can count on here in Idaho, kind of like the schedule at the Boise Whitewater Park. You can expect some new faces, sure, but in terms of what party controls what here, Idaho seems to have the same identity. What does that mean, though, for Republicans who control all statewide constitutional offices yet again? And what does it mean for the Democrats who held their own to protect their seats at the State House? Here's Andrew Bartline.
A successful election night for the Idaho GOP, punctuated with a sweep of every statewide constitutional office. It's an outcome GOP leadership expected.
What the voters were saying is they appreciate the way that the state is run.
House Majority Caucus leader Megan Blanksma adds new House leadership is on the horizon. That's partly due to a 46% turnover rate in the House.
That generally happens, you know, in one of these redistricting years, and new blood is always nice to have. So I don't think that it's something to be scared or concerned about. I think it's something to be excited about, and I'm happy that I get to work with some of these people.
And while the people are new, the teams remain largely unchanged. Neither Democrats or Republicans gain seats on either side of the State House, despite some shuffling.
Every possible seat, every purple seat, we work really hard for.
Democratic Party Chair Lauren Necochea says this was a big win for the Democrats. In a Republican-controlled state, she says her party finds success on the margins. The Democrats maintained their margin in key districts, including the Wood River Valley. The Dems swept the district, maintaining all 3 State House seats.
We put a lot of effort in there. As a party, we stationed an organizer there. We've been door knocking there relentlessly.
Perhaps that was going to lean more Republican, and we just didn't end up doing that, and we're in the process of trying to figure out what happened there.
But one of the Democrats' biggest wins came elsewhere.
I learned that we can flip a seat like we did in District 15 when we get out and talk to the voters. And when we can talk one-on-one, we can share just how closely aligned Idaho Democratic values are with just your regular voters of Idaho.
Necochea adds she doesn't like what she sees from the other side of the aisle.
The growing extremism is going to be taken to new heights with some of these new legislators, and I think there are people who are frankly unfit for public office who are now going to hold legislative seats, and that's concerning to me.
Overwhelmingly, Idahoans chose Republicans to lead the state. And that's just facts. That's what we know. And so to say that Republicans are extremists or that they aren't in touch with their communities, I think if you go and you look at the vote totals and you look at so many districts were so overwhelmingly Republican, where Democrats didn't even field a candidate because they knew what those communities looked like.
We have a disconnect in that we have voters who I think vote Republican out of habit. They have historically. Just if you want to see how extreme the Idaho Republican Party is getting, they're telling us in their platform.
Both parties are heavily anticipating State House leadership. The Speaker of the House is a good example of what we're looking at, with Scott Bedke becoming the Lieutenant Governor-elect. That role will now have a new face. And for the Republicans, Brian, it's going to be who's going to be one of their leaders to help push that party forward and what they want to accomplish. And then for the Democrats, it's who are they going to have to work with, or perhaps who are they going to have to work against? Because I asked both parties, what is that going to look like with these new faces working together with each other? And they said, well, sometimes it's tough to work together at all. So we'll see how that works out and how people get along with these new faces.
Yeah, the platform she's referring to with the Republican Party has to do with no abortion, no exception kind of thing. Also, what can and cannot be taught in schools. They mentioned CRT in their platform they passed this past summer at their convention. But the terms of people just voting Republican because they're just used to that, I mean, does that kind of, that's what they're falling back on when it comes to the Democratic Party right now?
Well, that's what they said. Necochea told me, like, we're the party of the people. We're the party that's doing the things the people of Idaho want. And I pushed back on her a little bit and I said, well, then why are you losing so many elections where this is a Republican-controlled state? We saw those margins where Little won by 41 points for the governor's seat. And she says, well, we know that people are stuck in their ways. This is a Republican state. It has been for a long time. It's going to take a long time to change that. That was her logic.
Party for the people, but not these people, apparently. All right. Thank you very much, Andrew.